of your skills and size of system. We all want to see your underwater kingdom. Beginners and masters, we don't give a shit. Show us your tank, I'm sure it's legit. Tell us all about your love for reefing. Tell us why that love is increasing. Get on our Discord and have some fun. It's what life is all about when all said and done. Relax and enjoy this salty tour. We will all learn something, for that I am sure.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's tank tour all the way from Canada. Can't say sunny, because what temperature is it, Jason?
Currently, it's minus 34 and expected to go down to minus 38. So, yeah, Celsius.
Your penis isn't any.
Oh, yeah, everything external is internal right now. It's fantastically uncomfortable.
Images in my head.
Okay, we're here for a tank tour. My apologies. What we normally do is we normally just talk about how you get into the hobby and your journey through the hobby to where you are now, and then we'll go through equipment, what you've got in your tank and things like that, and then there'll obviously be questions. So you all right to jump in?
Yes. Fantastic. So sure. I started, if I go far enough back, I had like goldfish when I was 6 or whatnot. But really, I started getting into the hobby back in 2005, I think it was. So, God, 20 plus years ago. I was a grad student and I was literally bored and living in an apartment, and I didn't want a dog or a cat because I didn't think, I was too busy to take care of them. So I figured I'll go for a fish tank. And I started with, yes, a planted freshwater tank. And that was fine. It was a 29-gallon. It was boring, but fine. It grew when the fish were alive. And I remember I was doing a Google search, or God, back then it might have even been like an Alta Vista search or some such thing. And I was searching for just fish tanks and such. And I came across Nano Reef and Reef Central. And those two, I thought to myself, hey, this looks kind of cool. Read a little bit about it, but had no intention to get a saltwater tank. And when I went to the fish store, to the LFS where I got the planted tank, I noticed that they had a small section on saltwater. And I started looking at it. I'm like, this is the coolest shit. And you know what? I just read that I could, in theory, set up like a 20-gallon nano tank with this. So I started with a 20-gallon, standard 20-gallon softy tank. It had one of those compact fluorescent U-shaped bulbs on it. Remember those guys? I think it still had a hang-on-the-back filter and a couple of maxi jets for pumps. And as far as I was concerned, GSP and leathers and all the rest of that was the coolest stuff ever. To the point where I spent so much time working on that tank that I started neglecting the 29-gallon planted tank. And then I realized I don't really care about this thing anymore. Got rid of it, tore that tank down, set up the saltwater tank in the 29-gallon. From there, over the next year and a half, I went from a 29-gallon to a 45, from a 45 to a 60, and then a 60 to a 90-gallon. And at that point, I was doing full-on SPS and clams primarily. This was back when you could get like those gold rim Maximas and such, and I love those things. And everything was going fantastically until I decided to go on a 6-day trip. And I'd set everything up. I had enough auto top off. I had a calcium reactor and calc, and both were topped up and working properly. Everything was supposed to be fine. Some of you probably already can guess roughly what happened. Went on this trip, come back, and it turns out that something went wrong with the timer or the controller or whatnot I was running, and it left the 250 watt metal halide bulbs on continuously for 6 days straight. So it burned through all of the auto top off, and then I came back and the water level was about 2/3. with the evaporation. And so everything was dead. And I'm like, screw this. I am done. I'm wrapping up my grad work anyway. I don't have time for this. Sold all of it back. But I always thought to myself, you know what? I really want to do this. I really want to set something up again when I've got a long-term permanent job and when I've got a house that I can set up something decently. And finally wound up eventually getting an instructor position at a college here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and got a long-term unionized everything job, got a house, and then COVID hits. And I'm sitting there bored out of my freaking skull during lockdown, to the point where I was literally practicing touch typing to see if I could increase my word per minute count. I was that bored.
There's only so many tugs you can have in a day, Jason.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's that?
There's only so many tugs you can have in a day.
There you go. This is true. This is true. After you get like 8 or 9, things start to get pretty raw, right?
That's amateur.
So suffice to say, I go on the on one of the Canadian equivalents of Facebook Marketplace, which is called Kijiji. Not kidding. And I'm searching for aquarium tanks for saltwater tanks, and this one pops up. It's a 100-gallon tank, and I'm like, you know what? That looks fairly good. It's $350, tank, stand, and sump. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'm going to do this. So I messaged the guy, and we arrange a time to meet, and myself and my significant other go there to pick up the tank. And we're getting closer and closer to St. Boniface Hospital, which is one of the major hospitals in Winnipeg. And I'm looking, I turn to my significant other, and I'm like, I bet this is one of my former students, okay? Because I teach in the nursing program. And so we get there, and guy opens the door, and it's one of the few guys in the nursing program, because it's like 90% female dominated, who I remember from 2 years ago. And he's like, "Oh my God, you were my instructor for this and this course." And I'm like, "Yep, here's your tuition money back." And I got the 100-gallon tank, and I set that up over COVID. And after about 1.5 years, I outgrew it. And essentially the corals were getting too large. And at that point, I started trying to figure out what's the largest tank I could do. Like, considering finances and water change necessities and everything else, what's the biggest I can do so I can get one tank and be done with it? Because I didn't want to do the whole, 100-gallon to 120-gallon to 180-gallon to 220-gallon, whatever. I wanted to just jump to what's the biggest I could do. And I figured I could handle about a 300-gallon tank. That was the most I felt comfortable with. Anything else in like equipment costs start like doubling or tripling. So I decided, okay, what would fit, and figured out I could do a 5-foot by 4-foot or 60-inch by 50-inch tank. And that's what I've currently got right now. I transferred everything from the 100-gallon. And I can blame my significant other entirely for this one. The 100-gallon is now set up as a planted tank again. I know, boo, freshwater. Yeah, there you go. But now I've got the 300-gallon, and it has gone through some ups and downs. It is currently on the recovery path. What's that?
How tall is that tank?
It is 24 inches. It used to have one that was 22, and when essentially I had to replace the tank itself, and when I did, I replaced it with a 24-inch tall tank, which is literally the maximum where I can reach in and reach the bottom of the sand without having to use some sort of weird grabbers. So that's why I went that size.
Did you just say that you've replaced the tank?
Yes.
The same 5x4, you've replaced it to be 2-inch?
Yes, and there's a reason for that. If you want me to get into it, I can, but there is a reason for it.
Let's go.
Okay.
We've got to know the history.
Sure. So this tank was, or at least the previous version of this tank was running fantastically for about another 2.5, 3 years until this past May. And there were a couple of minor problems with it. One, it had this big cross brace that irritated me all the time, but that I was willing to live with. There were two major problems, though. One, at some point, a while back, I had a giant acro colony that was plating, and it was about 1 inch thick. So it was starting to shade everything else around it. I'm like, okay, I need to trim this back, and there are no friggin' pliers you can use to trim this thing. And I didn't really want to buy a giant like Griffin bandsaw or something. So what I bought was a cordless Dremel tool and one of the diamond blades. And so I pulled out this rock and I start cutting it, and it's spraying all the nastiness from the coral, but I cut through it, all is good, right? This is about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. I'm done with this. I just want to make dinner and go to sleep. And I'm looking at some of the like splatter off of this coral, and it's all stuck to the glass. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll clean that tomorrow when I get back from work. When I get back from work, I look at the tank and there are scratches all over the hell, all like hundreds of them. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Because there were practically none. Yeah. And it turned out my significant other decided they were going to clean the glass while I was at work. And they didn't clean the outside. And the diamond blade had like sprayed off a little bit of the diamonds into the coral paste. It had hit the tank, and then they went over the tank. They went over that with the scraper, and they didn't notice because they were in a rush while working. They're just cleaning it off, and so it's I consider it my fault because I didn't clean that shit off when I could have. But there were literally hundreds of tiny scratches. I tried to polish them out. We literally bought like 1 micron and 5 micron diamond paste and stuff like that, and I spent about a week and a half trying to get rid of this. Couldn't do it. Like I called professional places, they couldn't fix it either.
You should have just called Steve.
Yeah,
Steve's pretty good.
Yeah, the problem is the flight costs would have been a little more than the cost. Well, probably about the same cost as replacing the tank.
Twofoot, just one quick question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Liam's dropped it in the chat. Your random flow generator over your left shoulder, it does look like there's a fish stuck to it. That's not a fish, is it?
No, there's a tiny, there's an Astorina starfish over there, and there's a tiny money cowrie that's sitting right next to it. I'm wondering if those two are what are being seen. But yeah, there's no, thankfully at least, the fish are, as far as I know, okay. So I get scratches all over the tank, and it's distracting as hell, I'll be honest. It wasn't exactly the nicest thing, but I'm like, okay, you know what? At some point we'll replace the tank, but I'm not in a huge rush to. And then one day I noticed that one of the, like the water level at the top of the tank isn't where it's supposed to be. Like the water level on one side is normal and the other side is right, like nearly against the Euro brace. And I'm like, what the hell is the tank? Like, is the stand collapsing or something? Because the stand is 2-inch by 2-inch welded steel, massively reinforced. I'm like, what the heck is causing the tank to now start to tilt? And I'm looking through and I eventually see one of the feet in the left corner has collapsed completely. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Did it like tear through the threads and force itself into the stand or something? And at that point, I'm like, shit, I'm going to need to take off, like break down the tank, take off the tank, fix this foot. And I'm like, you know what? The tank's already scratched. I hate the crossbar. I wasn't a huge fan of the Fiji Cube overflow. It never flowed the way it was supposed to. Let's just fix all of it at once. And so I went to my LFS, I went to Concrete Blonde Aquatics, and I contracted with them to build a replacement tank. And the replacement tank is effectively the tank, quote unquote, of my dreams. It's got armored seams. It's got a proper functional, like fully functional modular marine overflow. It has no central Euro brace. It's 3/4 inch on all sides. And we decide, okay, I'm going to order this thing. I'm going to replace the current tank. And while the tank is down, I'm going to flip over the stand. I'm going to fix that foot, and I'm going to get all of that taken care of. Well, as I do so, I went to a farming supply place, and I bought this giant 300-gallon blue, like it looks like a kiddie pool almost, but it's fiberglass reinforced. I also got a whole bunch of other totes and my quarantine tank out and literally everything I could, and I started breaking down the tank. And we started putting, I had measured the salt water was perfect salinity, perfect temperature. There was flow in that big container and all the rest of them. Everything was like quadruple checked. And then I start putting all of the rocks into there, and I start putting the fish into there. And I put the clownfish and some of the torches and some of the more sensitive stuff in one particular bin. I put the clams and some of the other really sensitive stuff in the quarantine tank downstairs. And most of the rest of the large rocks, because we're talking corals that were literally almost a foot to more than a foot in size, go into this big blue bin. And we do that. We take it, we put everything looks to be okay. We tear out the tank. Tank is gone. And the new tank is supposed to be arriving in a day and a half. So I figured the stuff can survive a day and a half in this blue bin with no problems. Everything had been checked. It has circulation. It has temperature. It was literally running off of my Apex, so I could monitor it. And I figured should be good for a day and a half. And while that's happening, I can flip over the stand and repair the foot. Well, unfortunately, I go to bed that night at midnight. Literally, I was checking the blue bin, and everything was looking fine. I go to bed that night. I get shaken awake by my significant other, who turns to me and says, "There's something wrong with the blue bin. I think all the fish are dead." And I'm like, "Oh God, what the hell's going on?"
Jeez.
So I rush downstairs, and the entire thing is a milky soup.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. It killed everything in that tank. And worse yet, I had like 6 other bins around with like other colonies and other things. I thought, hey, I can save some of this because the corals they didn't look dead. They just looked like they were in soup. So I started taking some of them and putting them into the other bins. And then within like 4 hours, those bins are milky as well. So the only things that like survived that were the clownfish and the torches and the hammers and the slightly more euphilia or soft coral stuff and the quarantine tank. Those 2 were untouched. Everything else, I lost essentially 80%. And I know exactly why. That's the worst part. When we were taking the stuff out, my green slimer and my large colony of that nuclear green hydenophora, when we put them in the quarantine tank, when we put them in the big blue bin, we must have left them out a little too long. They started sliming up. And I saw the slime, and I've seen them slime up before when like I've done a large scale water change or something and something pisses them off. And I didn't think much of it. What I forgot, and this is the big stupid thing that I'm still beating myself up over, I have a spare skimmer downstairs, like an entire spare freaking skimmer. I could have put that thing in there. It would have sucked out any of or most of the organics, and I would have had no problem. But for some stupid reason, I completely forgot about it. And I had no skimming, so no way to get rid of that carbohydrate slime, which just fed all the bacteria and caused a massive bacterial bloom, which caused the oxygen level to plummet, which caused all of the fish and all the fish to essentially go through ischemia and hypoxia and etc. And the same thing for the corals, and I lost all of it. And
so Jason, I'm gonna take you out of solo layout because I think everybody keeps sitting doing this, listening to all these stories, and we're missing everybody's reactions. That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it was 5 years of coral growth. I had corals that were literally this big in size, right? I've got pictures on the Discord of the tank beforehand, and 90% of the fish, everything but effectively the 2 clownfish and a diamond goby, and all of my large acro colonies were gone completely. Like I tried so hard to save them. I actually had 300 gallons of freshly mixed salt water on standby that I then drained the blue tub and refilled and then restarted making more salt water to try and clear this out to try and save stuff. But no, the moment it had gone that long without enough oxygen, everything was dead, and it was essentially a futile effort.
How did your partner discover this? I mean, did she get up in the middle of the night and was like...
You want to laugh? My partner works literally right next to the tank, and so we set up the blue bin right next to their workspace. And so they come down for work, and the first thing they smell is this god-awful, sulfurish, to the point where we had to open every window in the house just to get that smell out. And it was like 30 days of absolute misery trying to keep this, trying to get this stuff clear, seeing if anything could survive from this, getting rid of it. Literally, we put it outside on the patio. We eventually had to bleach all of that rock. And so it was an 80% reset. That was back in May. And so then we got, you want to laugh? So what started this, you know how I mentioned that 1 foot collapsed? I thought maybe like the threading had gone on the foot because it was one of those screw-in feet, or maybe the weld that held the foot had gone. No, the thread had pushed itself straight through the metal plate at the bottom of the foot, through the plastic that went underneath that, and then drove itself about half an inch into my flooring. It literally went the opposite way. It went into the floor and destroyed the foot. And the other 5 feet on the tank were showing signs of doing the same thing. So on the plus side,
I'm almost sorry that I asked, but that's
What on Mel?
Yeah.
Good job, Mel. Bringing up his trauma.
Yeah.
I just thought, like,
Go home and cry
your
tonight.
tank because you want an extra 2 inches. Like, we all want an extra 2 inches, but you don't just swap a 5 foot by 4 foot tank for no reason.
Yeah. No, it had to be done. It had to at least be broken down to re-level it, because otherwise, 300 gallons angled against one corner seam, and the corner seam at the time wasn't an armored seam, so it probably would have gone eventually. So I just thought to myself, you know what? Kill 3 birds with 1 stone, as it were. Fix the feet, get rid of the scratches, and fix the cross and get rid of the cross brace all at the same time. Sure, let's go for that. And I did not expect it to go the way that it did. Entertainingly, by the way, does anyone here know of Reef Dudes, the Canadian reefing podcaster in BC?
Devin.
Yeah, Devin, that's it. The exact same thing happened to him 3 months later. Yep. To the point where he also didn't put a skimmer in and the corals slimed up. It's literally 100% identical thing to what happened to him is what happened to me back in May.
Somebody had mentioned this and the...
Yeah, Zach.
Was it you, Zach? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I read it. I can't find it now. Oh, there we are.
It's fine. Whatever. Yeah. No. I'm definitely going to plan accordingly going forward.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. At least my major big mistake with this, the feet on the tank were essentially high grade furniture feet, but they were still furniture feet. What I've replaced them with now is literally 3/4 inch grade 8 automotive bolts that were powder coated and then put on metal plates about this big each. So there is no way, like, this thing, the feet will outlast probably the house. Like, the entire house could probably collapse on this tank. The glass would probably shatter, but the stand would probably support it. You know? And now I've just jinxed myself, I'm sure. But
you just see the tanks collapse behind you straight through the floor.
Did Liam not have major problems with the feet of his tank?
Yeah.
I'm sure he had more than one went. Not the way yours did when it went actually into your floor. I think it pushed up inside the leg of the aluminium.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. It's something when, like, a 20-gallon, 100-gallon doesn't really matter. Like, the 100-gallon is on a wood stand that I built myself, and it's perfectly fine. But when you step up to like 200 to 300 to above, structural planning becomes a lot more important. Like, underneath this tank is a crawl space that has 6 8-ton jacks under it.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I sistered all of the beams, and then I put under essentially roughly where the feet for the tank are, 8-ton jacks to make it go all the way down to the concrete. So that part is stable. What I didn't expect was the interface between the steel and my flooring to go, and that was the foot. So yeah, it happens, unfortunately, and that's what led to the spiral of the 80% reset on this tank. But we're recovering, so fingers crossed.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, that's the story of my reefing journey thus far, as it were. It's been adventurous, suffice to say. First the metal halides and killing my tank, and then the...
Such an unusual shape and size of tank you have. I've never seen anything like it.
I love it.
I love this tank. I honestly love the size of this tank. If you're ever debating how deep should I go for a tank, right? Always go like the deepest you can, 40 inches plus. It gives you so many more options for aquascaping. It's fantastic.
Looking at a reefer girl. She does a real wide tank too, like wide and depth. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd need someone to hold my ankles to get into the center, though. I'm pretty screwed.
So this tank, the reason it's only 50 inches is I actually like drew out and tested where the tank is. I can just barely reach the very center bottom of this tank if I move the lights and lean over the top of it. Anything more than like 1 or 2 inches, I can't. So that's why I went 60 inches by 50 inches, purely so that I do still have enough access. Barely, but I do.
So Chris Coge is actually saying that he would love something that size, but with a central weir, and I totally agree. Yeah, I love that sort of idea.
I debated the central weir, and I've seen that done before. The only issue I have with it is, well, actually, there's 2 issues. One, you're drilling the bottom of the tank, which by default means you've got an increased chance of leakage. This thing, if my overflow drains, I only lose about that much, right? So that's one thing, but that's a relatively rare occurrence. The other one is it really limits you to the type of aquascape that you can have, because you always have the rocks around the center and then like a branch or 2 spreading out. They're always like they do look cool, and if that's what you want, especially if it's in like the center of a room, it's fantastic. But for me, this thing had to be up against one wall, so I'm like, you know what, put the overflow on the back, and that way I've got 3 almost completely unobstructed sides that I can look at this tank, and that I can, more importantly, plant corals all over. Because that's the one thing I love, like one of the other things I love about this tank, I can plant corals on every single side of every single rock. So it's not like those ones where, you know, you've got 48 inches going across, and then, you know, half of that rockscape you can't really place anything on because you're never going to see it, right? On this thing, essentially I can plant anything anywhere, so it gives you so many more coral options.
I like that you've not just brought a JCB in the house and tipped a bucket full of rubble in there as well. You've kept it quite minimal.
Yeah, so it's relatively minimal, and that was done, especially now, that was done for a reason. The first version of this, as it were, had a bit more rockscape. The rock went up about to there or so for most of it, and the problem is after 3 years or so, things were hitting the surface, and I'm like, the corals are nicely shaped, but they're not growing any further, and I have to do all this, you know, work to trim them back. Having a bit of a lower aquascape just gives them so much more future growth possibilities, like 3-4 years down the line, assuming I don't somehow screw up this tank. I'm looking forward to the corals hitting the surface anyway, and the rock structure being relatively minimal down. Ever since I set this thing up again, I won't go past about halfway up the tank. You just limit yourself, especially if you're doing acros, if you're growing staghorns and such, they're going to grow to the surface way quicker than you think they do.
So John Wright is saying, I'm glad I didn't go clubbing tonight. This guy is brilliant.
Okay, they can see now.
After this, we can go clubbing together. I'm entirely good for that. No.
Does John have vodka at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever doesn't.
He's on an IV drip.
David from Mansfield Aquatics here in the UK is asking, some serious lighting. Are they Radians?
Oh, okay. So yes, the story of my insane lighting. So this is 10 XR15 Gen 5 blues and 4 60-inch T5s. What are those, 80 watt or some such thing, T5s? The reason I set this up this way is originally I had 3 Radions on the 100-gallon. 3 Radion G5s XR15 blues, and they were just barely enough. If I had to turn them up to about 75 or 80% to get the par levels that I wanted, and if anyone has ever turned a Radion up past 70%, the fan kicks on, and the fans on these things are freaking irritating. So they were literally the loudest thing on my tank. So I bought a 4th one and set the 100-gallon up with 4 XR15s, and that was perfectly fine. I could keep them running about 60-65 percent, so the fans rarely went on. And then when we were talking, myself and my partner, about upgrading to this tank, we were considering finances, and we're like, I cannot justify like the price of a small car for ATI Stratons or whatnot, because at that point those had started to come out and whatnot, and that's when Ecotech released the Gen 6s, and this was fantastic timing, because the Gen 6s came out and suddenly everyone's blowing out the Gen 5s. So I was able to get another 4 Gen 5s for the equivalent of about $450 each. And so, I mean, that's still expensive, but it was at least tolerable. So then I had 8 of them. And that I figured would be plenty of light. And technically it is. But then someone was selling, one of the locals here was breaking down their tank, and they were selling another XR15 Blue. And I'm like, great, I have a spare. And then 6 months later, someone else was selling, or one of the LFSs had a spare, had one they were blowing out as part of a garage sale sort of thing. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy this one as well. And now I've got 10 of them. And why do I have 2 just sitting there? Let's instead put them up. So I ended up with 10 XR15s on the tank. And that was enough, I thought. But then I started to notice there were areas of the tank, especially in the taller areas of the rock, where the spread wasn't quite enough. So I'm like, okay, let's add some strip lights to this. And I planned to get AI blades. This was when AI blades had just come out. And I'm like, I'll get 4 AI blades and that'll take care of all of it. And then I priced those stupid things up. And I'm like, this is going to cost me $4,000 for supplemental lighting. On the plus side, what was it, Aqualife, I think, who makes those T5 fixtures, had just come out with their new version, and so the old version of these T5s were on blowout. So I actually created a spreadsheet, and I'm like, how much would it cost for power for 5 years of bulbs and for these things versus the AI blades? And it would literally save me $1,000 to go with T5s versus the AI blades at the time. I'm not kidding. It was literally $1,000 Canadian. Wow. And so I went with those guys. And so if anyone is wondering, by the way, are T5s better than LEDs or whatnot? I've put those things on, 0 change. The only thing it did is I got better spread so I could put more corals in some of the areas I couldn't previously. That was it. No alkalinity change, no color change, nothing. So, I've got some opinions on lighting and what some people claim on lighting, but that's what I've got set up right now. It's 10 Radeon 15s and
just see a coral farmer having a cry in a corner.
Yeah. That being said, just for anyone who's listening to this, this is not the way you want to do it. If I could do this again, I would just swap it out with either ATI Stratons or Straton X's or whatever the heck the new Straton version is, or Straton Flexes, or the Quanta bars, or one of a few of the larger Quanta fixtures. There are so many more options that are better options than when I started with the XR15s, because that was back in 2020 when it was them or Kessel's, right? That was the only of the quote unquote better brands. Otherwise, you were looking at the Chinese black boxes or the no-op sinks or whatever the heck those were called. There wasn't much else available. Now there's so much better than this. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to at some point in 5 years, getting rid of all of that and just replacing it with 6 larger fixtures. But for right now, I can't justify the cost because everything's still working. And so, fingers crossed, it just continues to do so until I can, until the larger flat panels become more affordable than $1,200. So yeah,
you had any issue with the Radians?
How long do we have on this stream?
as long as you want, Jason, you go for it.
So I will rant a little bit on Ecotech and in
we're
particular on
meckling.
Radions. All right, I'm going to rant now. I apologize for it.
Go for it.
When I was running one Radeon, when I got my first Radeon, it worked fantastically. When I had 3 on the original Reef tank, it was okay, but every now and then one of them wouldn't connect properly. Now that I have 10, it is such an absolute pain in the ass to do anything with them because I don't know who designed Mobius's software for the Radions, but I would like to take them outside and beat them with a baseball bat for several hours. I have literally never had my Radions, all of them connect at the same time. Always one or two of them will refuse to connect and need to be power cycled or unplugged just to get them to work properly. At one point, I literally had my Radions on a Neptune EB832, all of them on 2 separate EB832s, so I could toggle them on and off to get them to connect properly because Mobius was an absolute piece of garbage. Okay, that's not including the fact that every now and then, usually right around when the times would change, half of them would change time correctly, and half of them would be like 6 hours off. So I would come downstairs, and randomly, like 4 of them would be on, and 6 of them would be off. Or the next day, 6 of them would be on, and 4 would be off. And I would have to reset all of them and go back in and re-time sync every single one.
So Matt is asking, do you recommend Radians?
So I will say this. They grow coral fantastically, and if you hook them up with the MXM module to a Neptune Apex system, you can set up coral spawning really easily. Those are the 2 major things that they still have going for them. Otherwise, hell no. They are massively overexpensive.
You're saying that. Mine didn't work.
I wish I could say I'm surprised. Mine, at least, thankfully, do work now.
Fuck you, Emma. I just read that.
I will say Mobius has gotten better. It connects more reliably now. It doesn't lose time as easily, but it still does. And I'll give you this example of why I despise Mobius. So a while back, when the MXM came out, they released a whole bunch of firmware updates for the Radions. And so I go to my trusty iPad and I log into Mobius, and it says, hey, your 10 Radions have updates available. Would you like to update all of them? And I say, yes. And then it gets 3/4 of the way and randomly dies and randomly stops. Yeah. And then I tried that 3 times, including power cycling all of them. It would never complete when it had that many Radions. So I had to do each one individually. I actually sat here for an hour pressing update, waiting for it to complete, do the next one and the next one. And you would think, okay, well, that's not that bad. Midway through, at I think Radion 6 or 7, it randomly lost one of my Radions. As in, it couldn't connect. It said it didn't exist anymore. And eventually I had to, when I reset the Radion, when I actually used that button combo to reset it, it detected it and wanted me to, and I'm not kidding, manually type in the serial number. At the bottom of each Radion, on the sticker, or on the bottom side, on the sticker is a serial number. And it wanted me to manually install, type this in on one random Radion out of 10 that I'd had for 2 years for no reason whatsoever.
At least it wasn't every one of them.
Yeah, who designs this software? I don't know. I don't know what it was doing, but suffice to say, the lights as lights work. But as the software side of it, I have a very difficult time imagining a worse situation than someone who actually has to mess around routinely with multiple Radions at the same time. You go more than 3 or 4 of them, and the software just explodes.
That you pay so much and get so much frustration from. I personally absolutely love my Gen 6s. They have never skipped a beat for me. But the Gen 5s, there was just something. The cases were cracking.
I had that at the beginning. Yeah,
the bolts were rusting. There was all sorts of stuff that it was as if they were slightly rushed.
No one likes a rusty bolt.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I will, in their defense, quote unquote, I will say it's gotten better. But as far as I'm concerned, I will probably, my next lighting setup, whatever it is not going to be a Radion. It's going to be something else that has very basic lighting, as long as I can still set up the day-night coral spawning cycle. And the reason for that, I'm sure we'll get into this, is this tank spawns corals like mad. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but I get torches and gonies spawning constantly in this tank. And I'm sure when we go around and look closer at the tank, I'll point out like a whole bunch of the damn things. But I love the fact that I can spawn these things, like that they're not only just surviving in the tank, but they're growing and they're like producing babies is awesome. I'm sure other lights can do the same thing, right? I just have to actually screw around with the coding. It was easy to set up, at least with an Apex and the Radions. So that's why I still have them. But the moment they start to die, I will be replacing them with something else, guaranteed. So that's my rant. I apologize for.
Are you sure?
To summarize that, you love them.
Good night, everyone.
If you give me longer, I am sure I'll come up with something else. Oh, here's one for you. Actually, no. So I also have Vortex, which are also Ecotech products, and I had to backdate all of them to work with the WXM module because even 3 years later, 2.5 years later, sync and anti-sync still don't work with the MXM module and the and Radions. Oh, sorry, and MP40s. They're owned by the same company. How did they not figure this out in 2.5 years? They advertised this feature being there from the beginning, and it's still 2.5 years later. They've literally got YouTube videos on their YouTube channel saying the feature is coming a year ago.
Typical Aperture.
Yeah, like it's.
But
I don't know.
WXM's the answer to get sync and anti-sync.
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. I currently have an MXM and a WXM. The MXM is controlling the Radions, and the WXM is controlling the MP40s. And it works, but why am I having to jump through hoops and buy these extra things just to get like basic functionality that they advertise working?
It's because the products are cheap.
Yeah.
They're not really expensive products. So,
Handsome Jason, do you want to weigh in on this? Do you have any opinion on this?
Fuck Ecotech. All over. That's it. Fuck that shit. If I had all those problems with lights and all of that nonsense, I would just probably stop in the hobby.
Right.
I have to say I'm addicted. Yeah, it's an addiction at this point. I don't know if I could really stop because I've sunk so much money and time into it that I don't know if I could bring myself to stop anytime soon. Like if an 80% tank reset,
your microphone is causing some background noise. So if you want to talk, just unmute yourself.
All good? All right.
Or sign language.
I don't think she knows how to unmute herself on her phone. Well, unmute yourself and prove me wrong.
Better yet, do
really, Mel?
Oh dear. So yeah, Mo is saying that he doesn't like the MXM module. He had a power cut and it kicked the Radians off, and it's a ball ache to program them.
Yep, absolutely. It's one of those things where you would think it would be freaking easy, right? It's got a wireless connection. They've done wireless before because the MXM, the WXM works relatively well once it's set up. You would think it would be relatively easy to program. I don't know if it's just way more complicated than my little pea-sized brain can understand, or if they're just that incompetent. But
says the guy
it's irritating.
Like microbiology and molecular biology.
Yeah.
We're kind of like going down a bit of a rabbit hole here, but before we move on, the one thing I have to say from my personal experience of Radians and the spawning program I've been running, yes, the moonlights have actually stopped working on the lights. That's one thing. The other thing I don't like is that anytime you open your light within Apex Fusion, you get presented with a wizard for programming.
Yes.
And if you do not hit X and you're not concentrating, you got your phone out your pocket, there's water running somewhere, and you just don't quite tap that X, all of your programming on your light for spawning is fucking gone. You're back to square one.
Yep, absolutely.
He's a wizard, Harry.
Remember to tap your X, everyone.
I have multiple copies. I literally take complete backups of my Apex programming
Me too,
every about 2 or 3 months because I expect it to randomly explode on me. Which, given how much money I've spent on it, is kind of ridiculous. But
it's exciting though, right? It's exciting.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Makes a hobby fun.
Oh, let me tell you, this is something I forgot to mention during the 80% reset mess. I finally got like the new tank in, and I'm setting everything up, and I want to get the livestock out of the bins, the stuff that's remaining, the stuff that's still alive, back into the new tank, and my Neptune system, my Apex system, shits the bed completely. It randomly starts detecting 39 missing modules. And I'm like, oh, something's gone wrong in the programming. I'll just restore from backup. Because effectively nothing had changed in the actual structure of the Apex, like where the USB cables and such were going. I'll just restore this. Restore the Apex. Still detects random things. From what I figured out, I jostled one of the USB cables that had some corrosion on it, and that just caused the entire chain to mess up. So there was nothing better than 2 a.m. trying to fix this like Apex system that's made up of like 22 modules or 20 modules or something that keeps randomly shitting itself. So yeah, that was yet another joy of that. So yeah, as you can see, I can keep going if you ask.
No, I'm very much enjoying it. I think Apex is just very pretty Lego. But anyway, listen, we're here to see your tank tour. We're here to see the tank. So do you want to start walking us around? It's up to you if you want to do equipment first or whether you want to do tank first.
I'll do the tank. We'll do the tank first and then the equipment. So I'll turn on the sump light preemptively, but there we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see this because I can't really see you. Ignore the cyano. We can discuss that. I figured out where it's coming from. But so you can see, essentially, I've got multiple different rock structures, a ridiculous amount of torches, at least 3/4 of which were actually born in the tank. The Duncans that my clownfish call home, the clams. That clam at the back, by the way, is about 10 inches long, 9 to 10 inches in size. I got it when it was about 1.5 inches, and I thought I'd have to feed it Fido. That's just 5 years of Deresa clam growth.
Truther, slow down, please.
Oh, okay, sure.
Too fast.
Wait. Okay, I'll go back.
Did you say that your clowns were hosting your Duncan?
Fuck off.
Sorry, my Duncan is hosting my clowns. Yes, I apologize. God, I hate that terminology, but yes. The Duncans are hosting the clownfish.
I will
and
turn
they did
around,
just lay eggs.
What's that purple one on that rock?
This guy, that is the Jason Fox Fox Flame.
Man, that's really pretty.
I think I've asked you in the past.
Yeah.
I think I've asked you in the past, what part are you getting for your Fox Flame there?
From what I recall, it's about 280 to 300 or so. It's right around 280 at that height, from what I recall.
Cool.
That is low.
Yeah.
I think Mel was asking about the one next to that.
Yeah, but the purple one, not the red one.
No,
other side. That one.
This one?
That one there.
That's the Hawkins echinata.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Stunning.
That is one of the corals that survived from the reset, and so you can actually tell the things that are massive or at least decent sized are the things that survived the reset, and the tiny little frags are the new stuff from anywhere between a few months ago and relatively recently. And so as we go along, we got an Oregon tort, and we got the forest fire. There's some Pokeroo leptastria down there. And here you can see part of my problem of how many little baby gonies and torches are growing on these rocks.
I mean, some would say that's a problem, and some might not.
It's fantastic, but I mean, what do I do here? Do I kill off the baby gonies that are encroaching on the forest fire? Yeah, they seem to grow all over the place, so like randomly. But it's a really nice thing, frankly. I have no major complaints, obviously. We got the trumpet corals. We got the larger enchanted forest bird's nest. Let's see here, if we go along here. We got some of the Bizarro Cyphastria and Firewalker Cyphastria, the branching Cyphastria. Whole bunch of, or at least a few Cynarinas there. Blue Matrix coral.
Torches
and then,
in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, the torches. Yes.
Linda has just touched herself.
It's that famous gif in it of the Barbie doll putting the hands to the mouth. Oh my!
Yeah, all entertainingly, every single one of those started as either a single polyp I purchased, or for a lot of them, a single polyp that actually grew and started to start from a baby and actually grew in the tank. So from what I recall, and I think it's off the top of my head, I've got Aussie Golds in there, Indo Golds, Dragon Souls, Joker Torch, New York Knicks Torch, as well as a green tip yellow tip green torch, and one other, and a couple of Holy Grails are in there as well. So literally just anything. Torches and Gawnies I can grow like nothing, whereas some random corals just sit there, which is of course irritating, but but it is what it is.
Are you wearing your black belt right now, or do you have it like on a shrine somewhere?
I'm currently
autoerotica.
Yeah. So
is that a Scully on the rock?
Yes, it's a double-headed Scully.
Wow.
I got that from before the prices went stupidly insane. Like, I think I got that for about $200 from Candy Corals in Toronto. They're now going for like $650. I don't know what the hell has gone on with that, but those are the only two Scullies I have.
But so that's a rare Scully, though.
Zach is asking, do you dose manganese?
No, not at all. I dose essentially. I dose absolutely nothing but calcium and magnesium, and we'll actually go over that and water changes. I've never found the need to actually dose manganese for my Gawnies, and entertainingly, I resisted getting Gawnies for years. Back in like 2004, 2005, I heard they were unkeepable, right? They would always die. When I got back into it, everyone was saying, oh, you need to dose this and you need to dose this, and they're really finicky and whatnot. So I refused to get them for ages. And then I eventually gave in and got these two down here, which are actually Bernardipora, the short tentacle Gawnies. And they did so well that my significant other actually, we were at the LFS, at one of the LFSs, and he had just brought in these like plates of Gawnies that were like multiple Gawny colonies all on one plate or one frag rock. And my significant other was like, let's try it. So I'm like, you know what, fine. I'm guessing all of them are going to die, but we put them in, and like every single one of them is not only still alive, but we've since expanded to like the glitter Gawny, which is up there, and the one of the other ones here, the one I can't remember if that's like a Firewalker Gawny or some such thing. Every single Gawny I've put in here does really, really well, to the point where I literally can't kill them. So
I love
not
that,
complaining, obviously.
That Dioceras plate you've got. I think it's a Dioceras plate. That looks lovely as well.
Yeah, I've got an orange plate coral, which I don't remember if it's Dioceras or the other one, and I've got the tongue coral as well. That tongue coral is actually almost 5 years old. It's actually about doubled in size from when I got it, which is kind of weird because you never really hear about them growing, but they actually do over time. It's just really slow. Let's see what else. I've got one of my favorites, which is the pink bird's nest. I know it's a generic coral and no one really thinks much about it, but I always love the shape.
Pink bird's nest.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And then there's just a whole bunch of acro. If anyone needs any goldenrod, please let me know. I've got way too much of it. And then, yeah, back there you've got like the clam, and the center rock
Oh,
has just a bunch of new.
don't just be focusing on the torches. Give the acro people a little bit of time. Come on.
There you go. Okay, fine. So let's go through the acros here. So I've got the goldenrod, green slimer. Behind that is red dragon. Major laser is the new one there.
Frickin'
Green
laser beams.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't name them. I don't know. Cali Tort. That one is ARC Fireworks. Then, of course, we got the Bird's Nest. Then we got the Green Goblin Anacropora. Strawberry Shortcake, and Princess Peach is one of the newer frags.
What else? We go back kind of to the left a little. There's one kind of right there above your like.
Oh, the tiny guy there? Or
yeah, it's like a yellowish orange on the back side of the rock.
In the back
in the back there. The larger, the Humulus colony.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's Humulus or Spath.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Humulus, because the other one back there, the red one, is a Reef Raft Magma Spathulata. And there is like structural difference, so I think that one is a Humulus, and it's the only wild acro or maricultured acro in the entire tank. Everything else is like named frags, as it were. That's the only one that I got, because I've never seen a named Humulus. That's the only one I've got that is maricultured. Everything else was either a frag from the LFSs or from fellow hobbyists, etc.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we've got ye old stupidly ridiculous orange hammer there, which just keeps growing. I've had to cut that thing in half now twice, and it's still that big. So
would you class this tank as complete, or are you still buying?
Mostly at this point, it's pretty close to complete. I just want to wait for things to grow. The way I usually do things is I'll set up effectively enough space that every coral has roughly about a fist size around it. And then I just wait to see which ones grow and which ones don't. And the ones that grow usually will take over from the ones that are having any trouble. And I'll remove those guys and either give them away or sell them off or whatnot. And so now I think I've got enough of the new frags that it's just a matter of waiting to see, does quote unquote an open space open up, or do these guys actually just do really, really well and take off, which is really what I'm hoping.
What's your favorite stick with a dick?
Honestly, it's if I had to pick a favorite, probably one of these two. Either at the top here, we've got an Orange Passion, which used to be 3 times the
Orange
size.
Passion showed, yeah.
Yeah, that one I really like. And down here is a little bit below it is the Jason Fox Aqua Delight, which I love because I never used to be able to, like back in 2005, 2006, I could never get any of the like sort of whitish corals with the blue or purple or green tips, like the Ice Fire Echinata and things like that. I could never get those to grow. This is the first one of those that's growing really, really well for me. So I'd have to argue probably one of those two, or possibly the generic, very boring, but still one of my favorites, WWC Yellow Tip. That thing, if someone's getting into acros, is a fantastic choice. That thing started back, I put a new frag of it back there roughly at the end of May, about the same size as the Orange Passion. And that's how far it's grown already. My last one of these grew to about a foot in diameter, both width-wise, height-wise, everything. So they grew really fast, really nicely.
Punit is asking, Jason, what par are you getting on your Orange Passion?
Orange Passion is, I believe, roughly right around 330 to 350. I'd actually have to open up my laptop, and I could tell you exactly what I do. This is something I recommend everyone do. Rent a par meter if you can. take a picture of your tank, and then whenever you read the par on a particular coral, write it down on paste it onto an image, and then you literally have the par for every single coral for future reference. Yeah, and I've done that for this tank, and it's about 350 to 400 right at the top here, and it drops down to roughly 100 to 150 in some of these darker spots down there.
Okay,
but it's anywhere between there.
David is asking, were your Gonies frags or were they wild?
All of them are frags. Every single one of them thus far is frags.
Anyone hear anything Jason saying over Melinda's keyboard?
So they're all frags. And that actually raises a really weird question. I never got white Gonies. I don't know where these guys came from. Like, they're the same ones that, for instance, are growing there as yellow, but these guys just decide to be white, and these are white with pink tips for some reason. I don't understand Gonny genetics. They random, and here's some green ones, and I don't know which ones are spawning or.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where can I buy a quieter keyboard?
That's not it. I've been muting myself and I just forgot. With the tank curse, what coral do you think is going to die after this?
Oh, if we're assuming it's just one. We're assuming it's just one. If I had to guess, it's going to be my Marvin the Martian, because this Marvin the Martian has pissed me off for ages. I tried it before, and it grew, and then it stopped growing for 2 years straight. And then finally I got sick of it. I moved it to another spot before the tank reset, and it starts taking off. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. And then the tank crash happens. Yeah.
Because it doesn't grow.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, part two of that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mermaid top or mermaid bottom?
Oh, you stole my question, Mel.
Yeah.
So do you know this game, Jason? So this is, would you like, if you were to meet a mermaid or a merman, would you like them to have human top and fish bottom, or fish top and human bottom?
Oh, God. Both would be utterly horrifying.
You have to do one.
During copulation, would the mermaid just be ejecting eggs, or are we talking actual?
Has anyone ever answered like that?
This is such a science teacher fucking answer.
Well done.
Because this raises questions, right? On one hand, if you're talking like the one where the fish head is on top, how are you going to have any conversation with that person?
Well, is that not perfect?
Fish bottom,
that's a great idea.
Reproduction working in the first place. Yeah.
So what is your answer then, Jason, so we can fucking move on, please?
I'll go for human top and fish bottom, because at least then I can ask questions.
Yeah, and you can still have sex with an arm. I totally agree.
There we go.
Why do you need to ask questions unless it's...
Come on, wouldn't you like to know at least your partner's name? Come on, what kind of person do you take me for?
Why would I want to know that? It's just get it done, get out. I don't care what your name is.
Right, okay, this is definitely taking a turn. Let's turn it into a bit of a reef tour question.
Sure.
Does your partner support you in the hobby, or does your
way more than they should? Way more than they should.
Awesome to hear. I think it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, my partner supports me to the point where they clean the glass most of the time. They help pick the corals. They help pick the fish. They occasionally they'll order coral and stuff for me occasionally for my birthday and such. The only thing they won't do is clean the skimmer. That's the hard line.
That's fair.
Yeah, that sounds like Matt and Roxanne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your favorite LPS in there?
Favorite LPS by far is, I would have to argue, is by far torches. In particular, the Indo Gold torches. So if you see the torch on the back of that rock there below the humulus.
I love that.
Yeah, that thing was born in the tank. It started as a tiny speck, roughly the size of, that guy or something, and has grown into like 6 or 7 heads. Here's another one that grew there and started growing there and started like from a small baby. Those are the ones that I love, the tiny baby torches that actually grow to form full-size colonies. And I lost quite a few of those, obviously, in the reset, but that's one that I still have, and I absolutely adore it. So that's probably my favorite LPS.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you run your lights in the spawning setup all the time?
So I'm using the programming that Richard Ross, the one of the hosts of Reefy, he posted on his website, where effectively you set up the Apex to with the MXM to control the radions based on the sunrise, sunset, and then there's just an offset that you have to put in for where you are in the world versus where Indonesia, for instance, is. Yeah. So it's like -8 or 10 hours or some such thing. But he's got all the instructions for that, or at least had on his website, and that's what I've been using.
There.
The only crucial thing I will say, if you're going to set up for a spawning system, if you use the default on the radions, it turns the moonlight to 100.
Oh, I think we're losing him. I think we've lost him.
Oh,
we were doing so well.
Was his battery at 100% when we started?
Well,
Probably not.
I don't know if he knows what a battery is, if I'm being totally honest. We'll wait until he comes back. I mean, we're an hour and 6 minutes in, and I think we've only just started the time.
Cursed it talking about radians again. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. That's crazy how much he's got spawning in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers.
Mental.
And it must be because it's sat in the spawning mode all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It proves a point, though, that spawning mode and those schedules and stuff are triggering things to behave in a certain way. But if he says they're spawning really regularly, I mean, normally when you set up a spawn, you're talking like
once a year, isn't it?
A year in advance.
Yeah.
But Jamie Crank, who isn't in the comments tonight, unfortunately.
Strange that.
He
to be fair, though, hammers like literally will have little baby polyps, won't they? And they eject them quite often, and they can just stick to rocks, and they will grow from that.
He's definitely got the skill for whatever you want to call this. I mean, he's got stuff spawning, growing, stuff.
Barry White of reefing.
Yeah, stuff growing next to each other that probably a lot of people would say don't work, but it's working.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
It needs to be called the orgy tank.
Right, Steve, are you on standby? You're going to do the second half of the tank tour?
I was thinking about it. I've got a few little comedy twists that I'm still working on.
Oh.
Yeah. I've got one done already. The other one I'm halfway through, and I'll have a few little nuggets to put in the tank tour, and then I'm gonna launch it.
It's gonna be carnage.
You're doing another tank tour?
There's a new tank.
Well, that's fair.
The other one was just to give us a chance to get around and talk shit for an hour, 2 hours.
See, when I say in the tank tour chat on the Discord, which if anyone's watching and you're not on, get on there. It's great fun. Have
you got a link you can put up on the screen?
You would think I probably would, wouldn't you?
You'd expect that to be one of those things that you'd plan in advance.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, he's back.
Whee.
Give me a second here. My phone just died. Like it went from 100 to 0, and I'm on my iPad, so I need to set this thing up. Give me half a second.
Okay.
I wish I was kidding. My phone, it literally went from 100% battery life to 0. I thought I was smart by charging it, but apparently it decided nope, it needs more than that. Can I pair this?
I don't know what to say, Jason. A definite running theme here. So yeah, if anyone wants to join the Discord, that's how you join it there. It's absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
prepare yourself.
While we're waiting on Jason fucking around, I've got a few things I wanted to say. So James, Critical Reef on the Discord, reached out to me and asked me, do you have a list of corals available? And of course, I am actually only really supplying wholesale unless somebody really, really pushes. And I said, yeah, I'll send you a list and all the rest of it. He says, I don't really care. Just send me some corals. I was like, right. I said, well, you sent me a whole load of stuff for Christmas and you've sent me gifts in the past. I'd really like to just show some friendly reefing return and send you some corals. He was like, no. So after all the verbal abuse stopped, he said, right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a donation to the Great Barrier Reef Foundation instead. And he sent the Great Barrier Reef Foundation $400 Australian. Nice. Absolutely mind-blowing. So
well done, James.
Well done, James. Steve started it. He started the ball rolling, and yeah, a few other people have done it now, and it feels really, really good. So thank you so much, James, and thank you so much, everybody else. Are you good to go, Jason?
I think so. Is the connection stable?
It is. Can you turn your iPad landscape, though?
Oh, yes. There we go.
Yay.
Okay, excellent. Let us continue then. Okay, so what do we want to go over fish or anything like that?
No, I think we should talk about how much you love Radiance, and then we'll move on.
Before we do, have you put your phone on charge in case your iPad dies?
Yes, actually.
Excellent.
It literally is charging right now. I wish I was kidding, but no, it is absolutely charging. All right.
So where were we?
Let's go fish.
So, okay, so we're talking about favorite corals, but I think I mostly answered. Oh, yes, that was what we were talking about, the Radion moonlight cycle. If you set up your moonlights to do the spawning cycle, it'll turn the moonlight on to 100%. I have found that at least for torches and gonies, the max I want to go is 5%. Anything above that, and it's just like the corals essentially think that the light is on and don't realize what's going on. So I don't know why they programmed it that way, but I'm running these moonlights at 5% on the spawning cycle.
That's quite high.
Yeah.
So what we got in there fish-wise then?
All right, fish-wise, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, obviously. We've got a gem tang, we've got a diamond watchman goby, 3 yellow tangs, a convict tang, who's an absolute dick. We've got two clownfish, 2 blue-throated triggers, 1 male, 1 female, a Laboot's fairy wrasse, a McCosker's, Laboot's fairy wrasse, a McCosker's flasher wrasse, 2 Bangai cardinals, 2 pajama cardinals, a Barbonius anthias. Let's see here, the blue star leopard wrasse, who is one of my favorite fish. He's somewhere back there. Then there's the Royal Grandma, the Midas blenny, a radiant wrasse, a Moyer's wrasse, 2 yellow-banded possum wrasses, a Vrolix wrasse, and 2 pink streak wrasses. So as you can tell, I kind of like my wrasses.
I cannot believe how your memory is. I mean, all your coral names, you didn't stumble once, you just rattled it all off.
Well, I mean, you stare at this tank for many hours every single day. You tend to remember it, and then every now and then you get confused and think like, what was that coral or what was that fish? Did I get that one there or that one somewhere else?
It's been revising for the last 2 weeks. Ready for the test.
We go.
Cramming.
But yeah, overall, most of the fish get along really, really well. The yellow tangs will like very rarely squabble amongst themselves. They used to do it a lot more when I first introduced the 3 of them, but now they seem to have a hierarchy. It's just this stupid convict tang. Convict tangs have no scalpel, so they just kind of like try to nibble at like some of the other fish's fins, and the other tangs will then go and like try and cut him, and he'll go off, and then he'll repeat and repeat and repeat. It's just stupid fish, suffice to say.
Question here from Tighty Righty. He's asking, you don't have a mandarin fish?
No, I don't actually have a mandarin, and there's a reason for it. I would like one of my holy grail fish is actually a pair of mandarins that like routinely spawn. I would love to have those two. My problem is I also absolutely adore tiny wrasses, in particular pink streak and possum wrasses, and they feed on copepods and amphipods just like the mandarin does. And so I'm worried if like those guys mostly eat off the rocks. I'm worried if I add a mandarin, I wouldn't have the pod population to support both two mandarins and the possum and pink streak. So I've discussed this with my partner of like, at some point, when both of the possums and both of the pink streaks have hopefully passed on naturally, then we'll consider getting a mandarin. Because I've seen mandarins kept properly, where they're kept in a really large system with a lot of pods and not much competition. And those things are both beautiful and fat. They get so fat, and yet you almost never see that in regular reef aquariums. So I'm always like kind of cautious. Do I want to get one or not? And I've decided not until I've got enough of a pod population and no other predators for that pod population. Then I would get one.
That's a really refreshing attitude to hear somebody say, and not just go out and buy something that's pretty. So Liam just wants to say he's actually being serious, which I'm feeling a little bit like lightheaded. I'm not used to it.
Emotional.
Can I just say how nice it is to see a real tank? He's not gone mental and siphoned the sand and panicked about some cyano. Well done, sir. Genuinely proud to see a tank how they actually look.
Thank you. I was debating should I make it look as nice and clean and turkey baste the rocks and whatever. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's literally 8 months from the time that the tank was reset. It's going through the worst of the ugly phase, and I know that. And I've been through it enough that I know that in probably 2 to 3 months, all of it's going to be gone and look normal, right? You always have that. Usually it's about 4 months you get dinos. They usually go away after 6 months. Then you get green hair algae or cyano, and then that disappears, and then the tank is stable. And my tank is like this tank right now, after the reset, is not fully stable, and I accept that. So I'm not one of those people who's just... Your internet
connection's certainly not stable.
Oh, shit. All right. Let me see. Actually, I might be able to fix that. Give me 1 second. Now that the phone is back on, I can just set it up as a hotspot. So give me half a second and I will fix that.
No problem.
Do you have the tank bred mandarins in Canada?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay. So I think a lot of them are eating frozen mysis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are ways where, like, the problem is if you're feeding frozen mysis or anything like that, the issue is no matter what, you're going to have other fish competing with it. If I had just two mandarins in a nano, absolutely, you could get 2 biota mandarins and feed them mysis or whatnot. But when they're competing with all these other fish, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
Is there a macroalgae-fuge?
No, and actually, I'll get into that when I talk about the equipment, which will be in hopefully just a moment. Let me switch the connection, so hopefully it gets better. I may disconnect briefly. If I do, I apologize. I will be right back.
It's okay. We'll just ask another wee question. Tighty Righty would like to know, any thoughts on adding a flame angel?
Angels are something that I go back and forth on all the time, because you see a lot of people saying, oh, you know, why don't...
Oh, shit. See you, Toofer.
The flame angel killed his connection. Good job.
Oh, dear. Where are we?
Oh,
what am I doing?
Oh, that looked odd.
Jason and Elisa have both fucked off as well.
Yeah. Oh, look, there she is.
Elisa's behind a pink mesh.
Yeah, she is.
And sitting very still.
I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's not working anymore.
You're not even blinking.
I know, right?
I mean, you look a little bored.
How much longer is the rabbit in the pot on the cooker for?
Nobody else gets it. It's just the world we live in, Steve. Seriously. So is he back? Is he back?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes, we can hear you.
Can't see anything.
Okay,
though.
excellent. All right. Let me see here.
This tour's been a roller coaster.
They're always the best, though. Always the best. I mean, Elisa's now flashing us.
She did some Morse code.
Like,
Alexa,
My camera's not working anymore.
Blink if you need help.
Elisa, come out of StreamYard, Elisa, and then come back in.
Or try unplugging the camera.
As Ron blocks her. See how this
Am I back on?
Yay!
Hey.
Okay. Is this working? And is the visuals better?
No.
Is the connection better?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Once you're not having a seizure, it's fine.
No, but there's such a lag. He's not going to know when it gets better. Oh.
No.
Okay. Oh no. Okay.
So you've got
this is going to be
people
fun.
in the comments asking questions when this guy's having a fucking breakdown with his phone and iPad.
Still
I think
having
go back
issues?
to the previous connection.
I'm glad I'm not the only one
This
having
is
technical
way
issues
worse.
today.
Okay. I'm trying to go back to the other connection.
It's Plague of the
Let's
Jasons
see
today.
Where's my
It's a Jason thing.
Yeah, it's not working. Mine or his.
Oh, yours isn't working as well. Fucking hell.
Oh god. Is this any better?
I mean, it's a bit Minecrafty, but it's better than nothing.
Not
Maybe
jumping all
not.
over the place as much.
It's at least fluid and not
Yeah.
screenshots.
Okay, can you at least hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then let's do the sump, as it were.
Well, hold on. Dan has some motivational
sump,
comments for you.
What the? Oh my god, I can't wait to do my tanker. Yeah. Okay, so everything comes in. Oh, potato quality now. Okay, I'm gonna try going back to the phone.
No,
It's fine.
It's good now. It's good.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay.
Just keep it nice and still.
Okay. How's that?
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
How many probes do you have?
Or
At least 60.
All of them.
there we go. That's a whoop. There we go. How's that?
That's good.
Yep.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay, so water comes in. I have absolutely no filtration whatsoever. I don't have any fleece rollers. I don't have any filter socks, nothing like that. What I do have is just a whole bunch of rubble and media in the first chamber. After that, it goes to a Bubble King Super Marin 200, which if you want another rant, I will rant all the time on that guy.
Go for it.
It's connected to a waste collector. Then if we go along, the water then goes into what I call my little mixing chamber. This is where the RODI top-off water goes, the alkalinity, the calcium, and the magnesium, as well as the water change new water goes into. And then that goes into the last chamber, which has a unusually set up UV sterilizer. Yes, that is the UV sterilizer where the bottom is actually in the water, but it doesn't matter because there's no electronics in there. There are two core pumps. One feeds the UV sterilizer, one just feeds the other outlet. I've got an Avast feeder that drops into one of the outlets there. And I've got a Trident, which I have put into that ridiculous but awesome 3D printed Trident case.
Very cool.
And that's literally it. That's all that's actually running the tank. Or at least that's all that's the equipment on the tank itself.
So are you allowing your trident to control your dosing?
Incredibly simple, no mechanical filtration, which I think is one of the reasons why I have so many baby torches and gonies growing, because any of them that go into the overflow, most of them are going to make their way back, or at least a decent amount of them will. There is very, very little complexity here. I used to have the skimmer in the first chamber, and I used to have this chamber as a refugium, and I found it did absolutely nothing for me. And we can get into why if you want, but suffice to say, now the only filtration that's really on this is the rock itself and this one skimmer.
So we've got some questions here.
The water changes.
Okay. So the first question is, can you please show how you've mounted your gyres? So apologies.
Any questions, or can you still hear me?
So
you can't hear us.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Jason?
Oh God, what's going on now?
Oh my God!
Can somebody tell him?
He can't hear us, Ron.
We can't hear us, Ron. No.
Can he not hear any of us?
I can't hear you. Wait, now I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay.
Can you hear me, Jason?
He can't hear Ron.
Oh,
can you hear me?
I can't hear Ron at all. I haven't heard anything Ron said.
That's
Tufa, can you go to the side where you were before?
Yeah. This one?
Me.
No. Around to the front.
Oh, okay.
Because you could hear Ron when you were there. No.
Huh?
Oh. Around a bit more. Around more.
Here?
There. Can you hear Ron now?
Hello.
No.
Hello. Testing.
How is this
Best
supposed to help?
forever.
Yeah. I think the hearing Ron thing is a StreamYard thing rather than a Jason thing.
Well, Ron,
We've got a question. Can you show us how the gyres are mounted, please?
Yes. So these are custom mounts that I actually had 3D printed. So effectively, the RMS bracket comes out here, goes down, and then I've got a mount for the gyres effectively built into it. And the reason I did it this way is I hate magnets on this side of the glass because it prevents you from easily scraping the algae. So instead, I use the RMS mounts as the mounts for the gyres.
That's awesome.
I just hate magnets
awesome
altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. It's not bad. I would love to, honestly, I would love to replace them with something like the new Tunzi Orcas, but I can't justify the cost right now. Eventually, but not yet.
So can you hear me yet, Jason? No.
Nope. No. Still can't hear you, Ron.
I've got a question as well. You said you have RO going in, you have top up saltwater going in, and three main elements, but you've got 6 lines going into the tank. What's the other one?
Tets.
All right, so there's one line. So there's one line going out. This yellow line here is the one that pumps water out.
Tets.
The rest here, we've got our auto top off.
Doing great, Tets.
We've got our salt. We've got our balling part C. Calcium, soda ash, and here's the other thing that I do that's slightly different. This is sodium hydroxide. And I put in a combination of I've got a combination of soda ash and sodium hydroxide. And in fact, if you want, we can take a look at the main equipment room with the water mixing station and everything downstairs. I'm tempted to use my phone for that, even though it's only on 10% battery life right now, because the connection will be better. Are you okay with me trying that, or should I just stick with this? This is coming.
Have we got any more questions?
Yeah,
have we got any more questions for the tank?
Steve, can you hear me?
Yes.
Say about his trident being on the floor, backside.
Okay. Tufa, can you hear Dave?
No.
All I can hear is you right now. You and
me.
One of the other people.
I think you can hear
me. What is
Emma.
going on with that?
Okay.
Wait there,
so Dave's pointed out.
Yeah.
Dave's pointed out that that your trident is on the floor.
Gesturing and I can't hear him at all.
Can't hear us.
So Dave said your trident is below the water level in your sump, and he likes to point out that you don't want to end up with it back siphoning tank water out of your tank.
So that's true, but the intake for it is up here. And so it's literally this line, which I really need to clean off now that I look at it, dangling here. So it could drain a maximum of maybe an inch or two. And if it leaks, I have, this is yet another bit of my insanity. I have a leak sensor right here. I have another leak sensor on the floor right around the corner here. So if that were to happen, it's not a big deal given the thickness of that line, but yes, it is a possibility. And at some point I probably should bring that above the water line.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
To sit it up on would be much cheaper than two.
Yeah. A block of wood.
Oh, I had those from before. I would have them anyway because I'm always paranoid if something's going to leak, then I want to know about it ASAP. So I'd have those anyway, but I didn't think about, you're right, I should just raise up the trident a couple of inches or so, or about maybe a foot.
So I have a question. You might have said, but I was distracted by Ron. What was your reasoning for having no mechanical filtration at all?
So this goes back to essentially when I first started the hobby. This was back in like 2005, 2006 Reef Central times. Very nice, Ron. I'm very impressed. So at any rate, back then there was, anyone remember the really like the massive yelling debates of God damn it, Ron is just going to keep distracting. Anyone remember the big yelling debates of bare bottom versus deep sand bed versus small sand bed, that sort of thing? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
At the time, it was thought like, oh, you don't need any mechanical filtration. It would just harbor detritus and whatnot. And so I always ran my tank that way. When I got back into the hobby, everyone was running filter socks. And I'm like, why the heck is everyone running filter socks nowadays? What are you trying to achieve? And everything I read is like, oh, you want lower nitrate and lower phosphate, so you want to remove detritus before it settles and crap like that, right? My nitrate level in this tank, anyone care to guess what the nitrate level is in this tank right now? Wild guess. 200. Absolute zero. I have measured it multiple times, both on a HANA high-range nitrate tester, and also I've sent multiple ICP tests. I have almost never had detectable nitrate in either this tank or in the 100-gallon tank. And the reason for it can be summed up in these two guys, that clam and that clam. They absorb so much nitrate, I've never been able to get nitrate above zero. I tried once, actually I tried twice. The first time was I tried dosing neonitro, or just like nitrate itself. And within a day and a half, I had a massive cyano bloom and nothing else happened. So I gave up on that after about a week or so. And then about a year later, Randy Holmes Farley came out with the whole, here's the protocol for dosing ammonia. And I tried that as well. And I thought, oh, ammonia will raise my nitrate level and it's better for the corals, quote unquote, and maybe I won't get the cyano, but I'll be able to see if the corals grow better with more nitrate. And so I set that up, and about 3 weeks later, I noticed a small patch of cyano, but I didn't associate it with the ammonia. And so I just kept dosing ammonia for about 3 months. Corals didn't change color. Corals didn't change polyp extension. Corals didn't change growth much. I mean, they were still growing, but about the same rate as before. But then the cyano started to spread, and it spread and it spread to the point where it was actually worse than the way the tank looks now. And I actually did a chemi-clean treatment for that back, like this was before the tank reset. And finally the cyano went away, and then it came back within 3 days. And then I stopped dosing ammonia. And the moment, like literally within a day and a half or 2 days of me stopping dosing ammonia, the cyano started to die off and go away. So every time I've had high levels of, or I've had detectable levels of nitrate or tried to, I've always just wound up with more cyano and more nuisance algae. And so when people were saying, oh, you should run a filter sock or a filter roller because that way you can reduce your nitrate or reduce your phosphate. My phosphate is 0.08 in this tank right now as of this past weekend, and my nitrate is 0. So what the heck am I wasting money and time filtering out? And if I do that, then I lose some of the baby torches and baby ganies and such. So, and I'm adding to my workload. So what the heck's the point? This is the same reason I don't understand why most people run filter rollers. It doesn't let people say like, oh, it clears up your water. And I know Fan from Tidal Gardens had a video on that recently. But if you've ever looked at even like video or gone scuba diving, the water in the ocean isn't freaking crystal clear. There's particulates all over the place, and that's what most of the corals feed off of. So why am I getting rid of them, and why am I filtering them out and adding more workload to myself? So I run no mechanical filtration. I'll vacuum out the sump once every like 3 months or so, or every 6 months, and that's about it.
Can anyone hear me now? Can you hear me, Jason?
I can hear you. I hear you fine, Ron.
I can hear you, Ron. Yeah.
I can hear you, Ron.
I heard all of what you said, Jason. That was awesome.
Okay, good. I'm like, please tell me I wasn't just talking to no one for the last 5 minutes.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I like that approach. The no mechanical filtration approach is I dig that.
I mean, I can see why people would run it if there's a specific point. If you've got huge amounts of fish producing huge amounts of waste and your skimmer isn't keeping up and you need to get rid of that detritus, or you have really sensitive fish that you need to feed a ton of and otherwise it's going to pollute the water, I get it. But for most tanks, I honestly wonder, other than like listening to social media and influencers and such, why people are bothering to run it in the first place. Because 20 years ago, we knew you could run without mechanical filtration with 0 problems. And I've been doing that for 5 years straight, and I've never had an issue. Yes, awesome. The influencers.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about moving my reef mat onto a pump rather than from the main drain feed.
I mean, it makes sense if you want to run it occasionally, like if you're going to stir up your sand bed or whatnot and you want to remove some of that crap, makes perfect sense. But why, like all that particulate that it's removing, most of that is what your coral is feeding off of. So why are you, like, in my opinion, why are you starving your corals?
I've got questions, but he can't hear me. So...
What's your question, Ron?
Okay, so
there you go. Type it into chat, Ron.
We just keep going totally off piste, right? So salt brand.
What salt brand do you use?
Oh, okay. So do we want to see the equipment downstairs and the salt that I have? Because I've got it all set up down there.
Why the fuck?
Are we good for that? Okay.
Yes, let's do it.
So this is the more ridiculous part of my setup. I will blatantly say that. So first, that's the salt. Instant Ocean purple stuff in the 200-pound box or 200 gallon boxes. That's the stuff. I always try to buy one batch run. I buy 8 boxes at a time, and I slowly work my way through them. I mix them with this insanity. So this is a giant 320 gallon or so mixing vat that has its own Milwaukee pump or Panworld pump or whatnot. And it feeds off of my utterly ridiculous RODI system.
Wow.
And so I feel, this, if you want to know where I've gone crazy in the tank, this is where I've gone crazy. Oh, and that's the quarantine tank, in case you were wondering. But yeah, it all runs off of an Apex setup, and here's all the dosers. So yeah, that's 6 doses. Not all of them are for the reef tank, though. 2 of them are actually for the planted tank. One does my planted tank automatic water change, and one does my planted tank auto top off.
Tell them we're not.
But the rest of them, the other 4, are all for the reef system. And these are the 5-gallon dosing containers, because you need 5-gallon dosing containers for a tank this size. And yeah,
too far.
Yeah.
Fuck your freshwater tank.
Thank you.
My freshwater tank is awesome. Thank you. Oh, and by the way,
can we have a look at it?
This is the spare skimmer that I completely forgot about and probably would have saved 80% of my corals. I am not happy about having forgotten it. And that's the freshwater automatic water change bin, and all my spare equipment, because holy crap, lots of spare equipment just in case. But yeah, just so you know, the way this thing works, so I've set it up, I've programmed it for the apex so that effectively what happens is the water comes in, it hits one of those Neptune solenoids, immediately drains the incoming water, drains the carbon water and the RODI water, so it does a complete flush, runs the system, pumps into either via that the RODI or the saltwater reservoirs, depending on which one I set up. And all of this is controlled by a single button. So you want to see what it looks like for me to fill my RODI or my saltwater tank?
Do it.
Done. It'll now fill this thing up until it gets to the top, automatically shut off. It'll if the upper level sensor doesn't go off, it'll shut off after a time base that I've measured to be the maximum that this thing can hold. And it has the exact same thing for this giant 300-gallon reservoir. So all I have to do is literally flip a little valve, press a switch, and it'll automatically fill this thing. And then I just toss in the salt, and all is done. That's literally all I have to do. And by the way, that filter here, this filter cartridge, I cannot recommend highly enough. This thing I have running on my saltwater mixing, so it goes from the pump up to this, I think it's a 20 micron filter, and then up to the top into the tank, into the saltwater tank. So you know how they say instant ocean salt is dirty? This thing is completely clean. Like on the inside, if I was to put get a ladder and look inside it, it's 100% clean. Every year I change this filter, and my water is as clean as like Tropic Marin mixes up, but for half the price.
Wow.
What kind of filter is that, Jason?
I highly recommend it to anyone who's setting up a what
kind of filter is that? Alyssa wants to know.
It's a 20, what is it, a 10-inch or 20-inch? I think it's a 10-inch by 5-inch, I believe it was, sediment filter that's 20 microns. And yes, I am definitely balls deep in this hobby, absolutely. And I change it essentially once every year. I've got spares, and of course I've got spares. I've got spares in here of every single filter cartridge.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And so, is your water change hose set up on a reel? Is that what I'm?
Yeah. So this is actually
that's clever.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I like that.
Works really well.
I'm like, wow, I have ideas.
all I have to do is switch this over, open this valve, and then turn on this little pump switch here, and it'll pump that, and it'll pump it all the way to the to the tank itself. Works really, really nicely.
That's
obviously,
fantastic.
That's
fantastic.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, and in terms of you guys want to know what I'm dosing. So I am dosing soda ash, sodium hydroxide, calcium chloride, and rather than magnesium, I'm using the Aquaforest version of the Balling Part C. So that's this reef mineral salt here. Those are the only things I dose. In terms of the calcium and alkalinity, so you guys will love this. The calcium I'm using, let me see here, is Dow Flake Extra which I keep in this giant, what was intended for dog food.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I got it from PetSmart. Yeah, and literally just tons of Dow flake. So
Wow.
I buy it in 35-pound or 40-pound bags for $30. That literally costs me $30 to fill, and it'll do all of my calcium chloride for over a year.
Nice.
Okay, earlier someone had a question about what strength are you making up your sodium hydroxide?
So sodium hydroxide, here's the exact formula I'm using, actually. So it is 1,115 grams of sodium hydroxide into 5 gallons of RODI water. And that's essentially the Randy Holmes Farley's recommended amount. And the sodium hydroxide I'm using, I buy off of Amazon as just this stuff. The entire box, which is 20 pounds of sodium hydroxide, cost me about $100. And that'll also last me almost about 2 years. And the soda ash that I use, I also keep in another one of these pet smart containers. That I actually get entertainingly from a ceramics place here. So there's a place that sells and chemicals and things for making your own ceramic plates and such. They sell 40 pounds of soda ash for, I believe it was $60 or so. So all
Jason,
told,
can you hear me?
everything I've spent for about a year and a half or 2 years of stuff costs roughly $200.
So do you not dose any trace elements at all?
No, so I generally don't. I've experimented with them before. I actually at one point sort of quote unquote gave in, and I went to the LFS and I asked, like, what's a large amount of trace elements that I can try? Because I'm dosing a 300-gallon tank and I wanted something that would last me a while. And so I got this stuff, which is the Aquaforest strong A and B and whatnot stuff. I have used it before. I have not seen any difference whatsoever, so I don't use it now. But if I was to use trace elements, I do have them. I've never seen the need to. I've tried it before. It never did anything different, and so I haven't bothered. So I'll go back to the tank. Any other questions on this stuff, or shall I head back to the tank?
Tufa,
yes.
When you first joined the tour, were you on a computer?
No, when I first joined I was on my phone.
Okay, maybe if we go back to where you were sitting and try and set that back up and see if you can hear Ron, because he's logged in with a different device and you still can't hear him.
I think he might be losing his mind.
Yes.
Well, there's so much to lose there, right? Okay, give me one moment. I think I can do that.
Shit.
Best thing Ron can't even fight back. Here. I love it.
I know.
You know, next time we do this, we need to speak to the guests beforehand and get them to pretend halfway through they just can't hear Ron.
Tank tours are fucking cancelled, everyone.
I wonder if he's just got me muted on his phone. You can mute single people.
What is going on here? Give me
half
a second.
Can you mute their people which can abuse people?
Okay, let's do 2 for number 2. Enter studio. Okay,
I think that might only be you, Ron.
Device you're seeing right now.
No, it's me as well.
That's it. Fucking carnage.
Error.
Good job, Ron.
Apparently everyone in the audience can hear me as well, but just not Jason.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
So as a guest, you can't mute individual people.
Oh, okay.
I can only access my own controls. So, yeah, he hasn't just got. It's just StreamYard was being weird last week as well, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm highly unimpressed. It's dog shit.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
I've been able to hear you the entire time.
I am so confused. Okay,
the question is, can you hear Ron Tufa?
Yes, I can hear Ron. Ron. I'm going to try.
Can you hear me?
I could hear Ron briefly. Let's see.
Can't hear me.
I thought you were going to say I could hear him the whole time.
Ron, your audio went really
God,
low
no.
for me for a little bit. I don't know why.
Oh,
I could hear you, but
I logged in on my phone, Jason, and then I was talking.
Okay, is that better?
Having a tug, were you?
Yeah. So can you hear me, Jason?
That's the question we need to ask you.
All right. Am I coming in clearly? Am I connected there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you
Or
hear,
have I
can you hear
lost
me?
audio?
No, he still can't hear you.
Topher, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Ron say
Ron
something?
when Ron
I
speaks?
can't hear anyone either.
Fuck. Fuck.
Is Ron saying anything?
I can hear
right now?
Dave.
Yes. Ron is saying
Because
stuff.
I'm back on the phone. The phone is charged to about 20%. So, like, I'm not sure what's going on now.
Jason is
for
so
tennis.
sexy.
There we go.
Sexy time. Sexy
fine.
He definitely can't hear you, can he?
time.
Hear a word.
You know, if some random person goes to watch this watch this back later, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are these idiots doing?"
Yeah, what is it?
Absolutely.
Professional.
Absolutely.
Right.
Situation normal.
Can you ask Topher for me if he can
So everyone else can hear me,
leave-
but not Ron, because I can't hear Ron at all.
Hold on, Ron's got a request.
So if Topher can completely leave StreamYard entirely on all devices and come back.
Okay, his request is to completely leave StreamYard on all devices and then come back.
Okay, I will do so.
Because
Okay.
if I leave, the stream ends. Right,
Fucking
good
this
night,
is
everybody.
mental.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so StreamYard are going to have to
Technology.
get their finger out and fix this. This is really not good.
Yeah.
Not ideal. Not ideal.
No.
You should send a letter or something.
Leave
Made
a
by
voice note.
Ecotech.
Bag of jelly dicks.
Yes.
I love when Mel
Bag
tries
of
to
jelly
get his
dicks.
attention. She's like, "Toofer."
You know, it's funny the jelly dicks thing. I was actually looking through my Amazon orders the other day for something, and I found where I had made that order. I'm like,
It was processed, wasn't it?
yeah, I had to like fight to cancel it. Bag of jelly dicks and a box of Grecian formula hair color.
Oh my god!
I see you kept the hair dye.
He's back.
Hey,
It
I
was
can
going to
hear
be a
Ron.
good joke.
I think I can hear Ron.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Woo! No, I
Me?
definitely can't hear you.
Fuck me.
Oh,
I give up.
Elisa is back, but I'm just gonna leave her sitting there for a while.
There we go.
No.
Okay, so this is probably going to look absolutely terrible, but beyond in recordings. But
Right,
any
so-
questions now? Anything at all?
Right, so we got to Salt Brand, and then I got very distracted with my artwork.
It was gorgeous, Ron. If you send it to me, I'll frame it and put it on the wall.
I am literally going to do that. So I am going to set this right here and make sure I post that to you. Okay. So feeding and foods. So I see you had the Avast plank machine dropping straight into a core.
Yeah.
What else do you feed?
Okay, so I've got a couple of, I've got multiple feeding options. I've got the Avast with its freeze-dried food that I add some pellets and some other freeze-dried mysis to. I've got at the top there a Eheim pellet auto feeder that feeds a mixture of various pellets, TDO, New Life Spectrum, etc. I also have frozen food. Nowadays I'm feeding mostly just mysis, and this actually gets to where the cyano came from. So for the longest time, I was feeding Reef Frenzy, which is frozen, like flat-packed frozen food mixture that the LFSs used to sell here, and then they stopped carrying it. And I actually called the place in Toronto that sells it, and I bought a box of like 10 packs, and I was going through that. A couple of months ago, that ran out, and at the same time, one of my LFSs announced that they were making their own frozen food. So they actually gave me samples of it to try, and I've been trying that. And the fish seemed to like it, all was good. But then I started to notice cyano popping up. And I was wondering, like, normally I associate with cyano with excess ammonia or excess nitrate or, what I've seen previously. And I'm like, where the hell is it coming from? And after a couple months, I realized they had actually added a whole bunch of both amino acids and probiotics and other stuff to this frozen food mixture. And I wasn't aware of it. And so because I had gotten a whole bunch of food, a whole bunch of fish, I was feeding the frozen food more heavily. And as soon as it was actually my significant other who put it together that, this started when we started feeding this new frozen food, I stopped. And all of a sudden now the cyano is starting to die back. It's taken a while. It'll probably be another month or so unless I decide to do like a chemiclean treatment or something. But that's actually, I'm pretty sure, where the additives in that food are what was driving the cyano. So now I'm back to just feeding either PE mysis or any other mysis combined with pellets, combined with the freeze-dried stuff.
Okay, so Matt's got a question for you. Do you do ICPs? Do you believe in them, or do you think they are reefing bullshit?
Okay, do I believe in them? Absolutely. They are tests. They will test for what they claim to be. How accurate they are, Lord only knows. But like when I was doing grad work, I used to send microbiological samples for ICP analysis in actually the department downstairs from me. So I believe in ICP. The question is it useful for a reef tank? I have ICP tests. I usually use the Fauna Marin ones because, frankly, they're the cheapest ones. Shipping for the rest of it from Canada is absolutely insane. So they're the ones that are most affordable. I only use them, and I want to emphasize this, only for one purpose. I use them to test what my other test kits are showing. So if I'm not sure of something, if my Trident reagent is getting old and I'm like, is my alkalinity consumption really rising that much, or is this something wrong with that? I'll first test the HANA stuff. If the HANA and the Trident match, okay, it's probably correct. But every few months, every about 3 to 6 months, I'll send an ICP test. And what I'll do is I'll do a Trident test, a complete HANA and Salifert test with whatever test kits I have. I write them all down, and then I send the sample to ICP, and I compare them to see how accurate my other tests are. That's all I use it for. That, and I suppose looking in case I ever detect like trace toxic metals or something in case a magnet is leaking. That's all I use it for. If you look at my ICP test results, and I've posted some in the Discord previously, and I can post the ones I got back a couple of weeks ago, most of my trace elements are near zero. And my corals don't seem to care. My fish don't seem to care. It's not preventing any of the spawning or the growth of the corals. So every time I've tried to add trace elements, I've seen nothing positive. And whenever I send ICP tests with just the instant ocean salt and what I'm dosing, most of my trace elements are low to zero. And as far as I can tell, the fish and corals don't care. So do I believe in it as a test, as a good way to verify your other test kits? Absolutely. Do I believe in it in a way that you can test if like a magnet is ruptured or copper from a pump winding is leaking into the tank? Absolutely. Do I believe in it in terms of it's useful for dosing tiny amounts of rubidium or whatnot? Absolutely not. I've never seen a point to it anytime I've tried, and I've tried several times over the last 3-4 years. It has, even for like 6 months at a time straight, I've never seen a benefit to it whatsoever.
That's really interesting because I very much agree with your point of view. However, I do dose Tropic Marins A and K because why the fuck not? If the corals are in there, and I've got an absolute sea of corals all freshly fragged and things like that. So it's a slightly different setup. But it's very interesting to hear a reefer actually have that opinion on ICPs and traces, and does it make any difference? Well, no, it doesn't to your tank.
What I would love to, and keep in mind, I do a 10% weekly water change. It's automated, but it's a 10% weekly water change. So they're getting some trace elements from that, right? It's not like I'm saying trace elements aren't necessary. I used to work on mapping out the enzyme pathway for E. coli for the outer membrane synthesis, and I literally know that like some enzymes require manganese, some require iron, some require zinc, for instance, etc. It's well known that trace elements, quote unquote, are necessary, but do we need to add extras? Because remember, every time you're feeding your fish, you're adding trace elements. Every time you're doing a water change, you're adding trace elements. Do we need to add specific individual ones? I am not personally convinced. I would say this though, if someone was to ever do an experiment where they had two almost identical tanks, or as identical as they could be, and one just gets 10% water changes and one gets that plus trace element dosing or ICP-based trace element dosing alone, I would love to see after 6 months if there's any noticeable difference in the coral. If there is, I would consider it again, but I've never seen anyone actually do that controlled test, which, by the way, is something that any of these trace element supplier companies should do to prove that their stuff works. If they were to do that and actually show me convincing results, I'd be willing to try it. But it's been, 8 years or so since ICP and trace element, 10 years plus, actually, I think, since ICP and trace elements have been available, and no one has even done that A to B direct comparison and shown anything useful. What do I, as a consumer, take from that, right?
I think
that's my view.
Sorry, Melinda, on you go.
If anybody would like to do this experiment, East Coast Reefer has a really nice pair of dick calipers.
I would honestly love to see it because it has been done every now and then.
Wait, you want to see Steve's dick or the calipers?
Not that, but A to B comparison testing.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
the clarification.
And if Ron wants to A to B comparison test his own male member with the others, I'm not going to stop him. But in terms of in terms of actual coral growth, I would love to see it done because it has been done before for lighting. There you go, Ron. You've got the biggest one of all right now, clearly.
Jason's got a special measuring tool as
well. Can anyone?
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Wait, do I need to
It's been sitting on my computer since you sent it to me, Steve.
Because I do have a set.
We're not having a detonation competition. We'll do it in the green room.
Woohoo! Green room time.
Yeah, I think what I was going to say is that reefing is it's open to the same things that everything else is on this planet, and that is marketing. And the ICPs and, no offense, Melinda, all the little dropper bottles, all the separate traces and things like that. It's not personally for me. Some people are reefing and they're getting absolutely amazing results with it.
Yeah.
But Elisa's become slightly animated as well. Now that I've just mentioned
that. Lunatics that have moonshine you're talking about, yeah.
Well, I mean,
hold on a minute.
Reef the way you want to. People have had success with reef moonshiners. Reef the way you want to, but for me, I haven't seen a difference.
Yes.
Right.
We are doing exactly the same as you, Ron. We're just doing it in more steps. So we're not doing anything different.
You're looking really
still dosing
right
exactly
now.
what you're dosing.
Yeah, she's in witness protection, I think.
Yeah, my camera's gone. I haven't touched anything, and my camera went.
Can you turn your beer goggles filter off?
I haven't put a filter on.
Stream has been off the rails.
Anyway, so next question is quarantine procedures, both fish and corals, or dipping if you want to go down that kind of route.
All right, so both. I am very strict on both, on especially coral quarantine. Fish quarantine, I'll put them when I get a fish, I'll put it in the quarantine tank downstairs. I'll leave it there for a week to 2 weeks max. Make sure it's eating. Make sure it's not showing any signs of any significant illness. And if it's not, I don't treat it. I will just put it in the tank. I know my tank has ick. Every now and then one fish will get like a tiny little single white spot, but it never seemed to affect them, and it never gets to the like epidemic levels that you see in some tanks and whatnot. But in terms of coral, I am extreme in my quarantine procedures. Every single coral that comes in, I don't care how encrusted it is, comes off the base. The frag plug gets either tossed or gets put in my dishwasher and cleaned to, sterilized. The frag itself, I will remount on my own frag plugs. I will then dip it either immediately if it's a relatively robust coral, or I'll wait a little bit and then dip. I'll wait a few days to a week and then dip it. It'll go through either usually a combination of reef primer for about 5 minutes at whatever the recommended dose is. Then it goes immediately into potassium chloride, or what's the Two Little Fishies, I think it was, or the Polyp Lab brand version of potassium chloride. It gets a 5-minute to 10-minute dip in that. Yeah, Reef Primer, and and the other one is Coral RX. Sorry, the first one is Coral RX, then it goes into Reef Primer, then it goes into my quarantine tank. Once the coral or multiple corals are in my quarantine tank, I will then wait a day, then I'll treat them with Interceptor, then I'll leave everything for a week, I'll treat it with Interceptor again, and then if I've observed them and seen absolutely nothing over a period of about at least 2 weeks, I will then dip them again in Reef Primer and Coral RX, and then they go into the tank. I have managed.
That is bonkers.
Yep. Yeah, and yet I have never had in my tank acro-eating flatworms, Monty-eating nudibranchs. Here's a fun fact for you. I have 0 Aptasia and 0 Mahanos in this tank. None, absolutely 0. I essentially kill them off when they come in on the frag plugs. With LPS, I'm even more extreme. LPS, in addition to the dips, I will also paint any exposed skeleton with hydrogen peroxide. I take a paintbrush, like one of the small artist paintbrush, dip it into straight 3% hydrogen peroxide, and I will paint the exposed skeleton, and I'll leave that for 2 to 3 minutes, constantly just painting it with hydrogen peroxide. So I kill off any algae. I have no bubble algae in here. I have no bryopsis. I obviously have cyano, and I'm fine with that, right? Or I'm getting rid of it. But I've managed to prevent all of the standard coral pests by doing so, and it's worked fantastically. That brings up the other thing. All of this is dry rock. None of it is live rock. So I've managed to avoid bringing in any of that way, and my T5s just went off because it's time for their time to go off. Sorry about that. So yeah, I am fairly extreme on coral quarantine, and it has paid off really nicely. I will tell you right now, there's nothing more relaxing when the tank is fully grown in after like 2 to 3 years and you've got really nice corals, and you can just stare at the tank and enjoy it and not worry, oh, there's a new Aptasia. Ooh, there's a new Mahano. Oh, there's a patch of bubble algae I need to deal with. It is so relaxing, but it does take a lot of work at the beginning.
Do I put my hand up?
Oh,
where?
Oh, where would you like it? Green room time. No, you were saying that you use the Aquaforest mineral salt. Sorry, I'm going back to the whole trace element thing, and I've just looked it up, and it says that it has components of magnesium, calcium, potassium, bromine, fluorine, barium, iodine, and other trace elements. So there is some trace elements going in.
There's some, but the reason I use, and it's actually an extremely small amount, the reason I use that rather than just a combination of magnesium sulfate and magnesium chloride is because I found instant ocean salt has very low potassium. I often find that it comes back at 370, 380 rather than 400. So rather than mixing my own magnesium, I use this stuff because it's about the same price as I can get the magnesium for, and it does contain the potassium. The rest of it contains a small amount of trace elements, but that trace element is only supposed to make up whatever the total volume that you're dosing of sodium and chloride. So it effectively makes up the trace elements of the, let's say, 300 mils that it doses every day. There are tiny amounts of trace elements, but it's not really significant compared to the 10% water change, I think, right? I'm not dosing any extraneous trace elements beyond just maintaining what normal salt water seems to have in terms of the Balling Part C protocol.
What do you aim for with your potassium?
What's that?
What do you aim for with your potassium?
Usually around 390 to 400. The only reason I care is at one point I had a box of Instant Ocean salt that showed up with a potassium level of 300. And my Monty's bleached and things were not looking happy. And I sent an ICP test, and that was the one thing where it's like, oh, wow, potassium is really low. So I had to dose a bunch of it. So now I'm a little more cautious of it. That's why I use the Part C. But I don't know if it's contributing anything significant for the trace elements.
Sorry, I'm just replying to Mo to say that he's asking stuff that's already been talked about, so you'll be able to watch it back shortly when it goes live on YouTube. So I've got
the mess that's going to be.
Yeah, it is complete carnage.
Awesome.
I got a question.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Go on, Steve.
I've seen a few speakers. You seem like you might be a bit of an audiophile. Do you have any issues with music and I'm assuming loud music and the tank?
It's actually my significant other who's more into really movies specifically. And so we've got a 5.1 surround sound. I've never noticed the fish even notice. They freak out more when I'm walking by and just the vibration from my feet, I assume, transmits. But in terms of audio, I haven't noticed them see much of a difference at all, or at least, I can't ask them, but I haven't seen any significant issue.
You could ask them, but they might not answer.
I thought the speaker was just there for the constant Marvin Gaye he's playing.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Get the sexy time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my blue throat triggers do spawn every now and then, or try to. They do that little spiraling pattern up to the surface. So, maybe that's what's triggering it.
So we've got a new question for tonight's tour, and that is, what is your main source of reefing information? Okay, so you've just talked about your absolutely insane coral dipping in quarantine. Where are you learning all of this? Where are you getting all of your information from?
Oh, this is a sort of accumulation of on and off reefing for 20 years or so, right? So I used to read like insane amounts of Reef Central. I used to spend hours, every day reading, back to like the 1990s when they didn't even have Reef Central. You had Wet Web Media. I read their archive at one point. When I got back into it, I first found, hey, Reef Central is pretty much dead. Everyone went to Reef. So I originally went there, and then I realized how many people there have no idea what the heck they're talking about. And then I went to Humblefish, and I occasionally lurk on Humblefish, and then I found you guys. But I consume most reefing media.
You get any fucking info from us?
You don't get info from us.
Sometimes I get better info from you guys than I do from Reef to Reef. I'll tell you that for sure.
Wanking monkeys.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to way too many reefing podcasts and things like that. It is an obsession, absolutely. So yeah, if you listen to it or heard it or have a YouTube channel, I've probably seen it, almost guaranteed. And I may or may not be subscribed.
So Lee has a question. Sure. Who has fluenced you the most?
Oh God. So originally, when I got back into it, and I'm not going to pretend it was otherwise, the thing that sold me on the Radeons and the MP40s and stuff like that was originally BRS, back when they had Ryan and Randy or whatnot. Yep. And originally, that was a decent way to sort of get back up to speed with what's available in the hobby. And after a while, I realized not only do I not see am I not experiencing what they're claiming I should be for using this product or that product, but I also really started to question where the money is coming from and why they're pushing certain things and not others. I remember when they did a test on super glue versus reef cement. Anyone remember, this is just before Aperture bought up BRS, and they posted a little a YouTube video comparing super glue and sand versus cement for assembling rock structures. And they came to the conclusion that their super glue and sand mixture was by far the best. And then if you look at their protocol, you realize The cement, you have to wait to harden for a week for it to be maximally cured. They tested it after a day. Am I in any way surprised that it lost to the super glue and sand when you screwed up the testing protocol? And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, what else do I, have they been sort of misleading me on? And that's when I really started to question things. And that's why I am very resistant to influencing now, unless someone is willing to show,
Unless
here's
it's
a direct
Dave.
A to B comparison. Or
Fuck
like
you,
really,
Alyssa.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanking monkeys being your main source of influencing.
I totally agree.
At least you guys are honest, though. Like, at least you guys are honest. You're not trying to sell me shit. You're not trying to tell me, oh, Apex is better than Hydros or Hydros is better than Apex. You're willing to call out the bullshit on both of them. And that's why I hang out here primarily versus, or on Discord, the Reefy AF Discord primarily, because everything else, it's like people are trying to pussyfoot around, oh, we can't piss off this sponsor because what if they want to advertise with us? And after a while, you just sort of get sick of that.
It worked though, didn't it? It worked on tens of thousands of reefers across the globe.
All of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And it's one of the reasons why I say, like, look at this setup running almost none of what they claim is necessary. No filter socks, no reef mat, no 3 different methods of dosing calcium and all for reef and using high-grade tropic marine salt and blah, 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 blah. And it runs perfectly fine. Yes, I've got cyano from that food issue that I figured out, but the tank is running perfectly fine. And in 4 years, it'll be back to, or 3 years, it'll be back to what it looked like previously. And I'll have saved myself thousands compared to what I spent previously. And that's actually the thing that pisses me off. It's the people who go in, listen to all this stuff, spend a ton of money, and then end up failing because they're not told, hey, you literally just need to leave it alone and have patience while things stabilize and make sure you're not bringing in pests and things like that. And then you'll be perfectly fine. And instead, it all gets overcomplicated.
You are a pest, Dave, did you say?
Yes,
Yes,
I am.
you are. Yes, you are.
I'm the only pest in this tank.
I think there's a lot of, in reefing, I've noticed it personally, there's a lot of people that if they spend X on something, they feel like they have to say it's good, almost justifying their expenditure. And it's, it's tricky.
I mean, maybe I was doing the same thing when I said, hey, my radions, at least they grow corals and spawn my corals really well. For all I know, other lights would do that just as well as, if not better, but I spent way too much money on them. And there is still that impulse. It's in most of us. We don't want to say like, oh, I wasted my money and I was an idiot because I listened to people who I shouldn't have. And so we have that defense mechanism. You see it all over all the time in everything.
Yeah, somebody getting fired for stealing doesn't go home and tell their family, I got fired, I'm just shit at my job. They don't. They say, oh, my boss is a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't it be cool to do like a Mythbusters? Like set it up properly and actually test things.
Minge Buster.
Minge Busters would be better.
I have dreamt of that for ages. One of my LFSs can probably talk to you for hours about how much I've ranted at them for this. Like I've got a complete protocol for this. If you really want, I could tell you like this is how you do an A to B to C comparison with proper controls. Because I used to do experiments in labs previously. It's just it never gets done.
I'm done.
It never gets done.
Fuck's
Dave is literally falling over.
We've broken Dave,
Somebody send him a ladder so he can get up.
Fucking hell.
He's gone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking Minge Buster. Fucker. I did so well.
Really well. So, back to serious questions. Battery backup generator. Anything for disaster?
So, in the equipment cabinet over there, which it occurs to me I never showed you, but that's okay. I can post a picture to the Discord or something later. There are 2 Ecotech battery backups, which once again, massive waste of money. right?
Yes.
But they do work for 2 years or so, and then you have to swap out the battery, which you can actually do. So I've got 2 of those. Then I've also got the entire system on 2 UPSs. And if all of that fails, I have a generator in the backyard, in the garage. If I could do it all over again, screw the Ecotech battery backups, screw the UPSs, I would get 2 of probably the those Delta 2 Pro or Delta 2 Max EcoFlow batteries with a 10-year lifespan. I'd probably get 2 of those and then have the generator on, as needed, and that'll be it. But the one thing that I really like about Winnipeg is our power network is phenomenal. All the lines are buried beneath the frost line and such. And so I have had 1 power outage in 5 years. It was for 2 hours, and they advertised it because they were replacing a water main down the street. That's the only time I've ever had any power issues. So I've got a massive excess of, batteries.
Why don't you charge your phone,
but
Jason?
I've never needed them. What's that?
Why don't you charge your phone, mate?
Because my phone was 100% charged, but for some reason, this StreamYard is chewing through its battery like mad. So I've actually got it hooked up to a power supply right now. If I'd known, I would have just hooked it up to a USB cable and just been walking around with that. But I didn't realize it would chew through that much battery. It was literally 100% charged before we started this. And it went from 100% to 0 in an hour. I've never seen that happen before.
StreamYard's just shafting everybody.
Apparently so. I mean, it doesn't want me to hear you, Ron, half the time.
I didn't realize. So that entire time, Jason, I was saying all manner of outrageous fucking stuff. And it wasn't until Emma told me, you could all hear it. And apparently everyone at home could hear it. And he
was going all over the place.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to have to watch this YouTube video back just to see what Ron was blathering about.
Well, I'm now just realizing when you were down in your sump and you were talking about your docent lines, oh my God.
Yeah, you were going up, just off the rail, Ron.
Yeah.
I just thought nobody could hear me, but anyway. Does anyone have any other questions for
Emma's gone.
I have a question.
Sure.
And sorry, this is not going to be, nobody else is going to give a shit about this, but with your Aquatic Life T5 fixtures, have you screwed legs into those?
I actually mounted them to the RMS rails. I went to the hardware store. I bought some steel strips, and I actually drilled the holes. And this shows you my insanity. I have a miniature lathe at downstairs, a tiny little nanomot lathe or whatnot, and I made my own little standoffs to slide into the Aqualife fixture to screw down to these brackets that I made, and that's what's holding it up. So I literally machined my own mount because I had no other choice.
Later on, can you please take photos of that and put it in the Discord, because I'd like to see. I know it's going to be a little bit hard to get up there, but yeah.
Yeah, I can certainly do so. That's not a problem. Yeah.
Not asking for
not a problem.
Only because I have the same. I run an Aquatic Life as well, and when I saw that it had legs, I'm just like, huh?
Yeah.
But my issue is, I'd like to make the inside section where you've got your radions. I'd like to make that 5 centimeters wider, so I don't know what runs in the sides of it that can be cut.
Mo is asking if you can show it, please.
Well, I can. Okay. In theory, yes. I'm gonna have to briefly unplug the phone.
Boy, here we go.
I'm hoping doing
here we go.
Yeah. All right. Fingers crossed. So quickly, let's see here.
Oh shit, that's blurry.
Potato.
I think it's fucked.
I think it's switched off, isn't it?
Good job,
No.
Good
No,
job,
you
Melinda.
fucked it.
Fucked
I'm
it all
sorry.
up now.
I said put a photo on the Discord. It was because Mo asked. I'm
You
sorry.
can't blame Mo. We're still live.
Oh, sorry. I'll put that to the green room.
Good job, Mo.
Yeah, Mo, you fucking idiot. Right, well, I think we've lost him again. Is this a record? I think we've broken the record for the most fuck ups.
Oh my god!
Did you notice he looks a lot like Eugene Levy?
Yeah, so I've been sent more than one message since this started.
Minge busters.
Oh my god! Right, he's back.
There he can.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back on the iPad, the slow iPad, because my phone died.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that was
What
fantastic.
year is your
I
phone
wondered
from?
if that would happen, but wow.
What year is your phone from?
Yeah, what year is your phone from? Is it from like 1987 or what?
No, it's an iPhone SE3, so I mean it's a couple of years old, but it still says it's got 90% battery.
Did it come with a battery?
Yeah, I don't know. Just StreamYard seems to hate it.
So
Sponsored by Ecotech.
you're on your iPad. Is the
StreamYard's
iPad
hateful
plugged in,
today, so-
or
Sorry, I heard multiple people speaking. What was
is
it?
the iPad plugged in? Can you take us to show us your lights?
Yes, the iPad has 83% battery, so fingers
Just make
crossed.
Mo join the Discord.
All right, so these are the stainless steel. These are the strips that I cut, and I drilled them for, I think it was like an M5 bolt, but I'd have to get back to you. And then I had to machine that M5 bolt, so I had to remove this piece, slide a machined bolt into there, and then cap it, and the metal strip goes essentially under or mounts to where the radions mount, and I just extend it. I got a longer screw for where the radions mount. Does
Nice
that
job.
make sense to you?
I have a completely different light system. That's not the aquatic life, the same as mine.
Oh, it's this is. I could have sworn it was no. It is. Well, it is Aquatic Life, but it's presumably one of the older versions, or it's the Gen 2 version. I know that.
Yours is the other way up, Mel.
Fuck's sake!
Was that?
Oh my god!
Is that?
Oh, sorry. Oh, because I'm down under.
Yeah. Jason's like.
So while audio and video is working, does anyone have any other questions for Jason?
Beyond why in God's name did I decide to do this?
I am so off track because of all the shenanigans with audio and stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think if even all these questions have been asked. I was too busy drawing penises and stuff.
Matt's question.
Oh my god. Has he had a go on Schiffler's mum?
Stiflers is meant to be.
All the time.
Yeah, did you see what some people think you look like Eugene Levy there, Jason?
I will take that as a compliment. I am entirely okay with this.
It was a compliment. It was intended as a compliment.
Well, he was a professor as well, right?
There you go.
I would definitely watch that film. Just saying. So unless anyone else has any more questions, I think we'll wrap it up. The only thing I want to say is thank you so much to everybody on screen for clearing your time, especially Melinda getting up so early in the morning again. And tomorrow morning we're doing Sunday shenanigans again. We've got a little subject put aside, just a wee hour or so, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning GMT. Other than that, yeah, thank you so much, Jason. Your system is amazing. You're
awesome,
also a black belt reefer, whether you like it or not. You're absolutely phenomenal. And I'd like to have you on a salty banter sometime soon.
I'd be okay with it, I guess, if you want. As long I am going to have to get a higher powered charger so I can have my phone pulling whatever juice it needs to run this. But I am perfectly fine with that. You just let me know when.
Or a new phone.
Yeah.
It may be time for a new phone.
It may in fact be. I may have to get at least the battery swapped out. We'll see.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone in comments. Thank you everyone on screen. Really, really appreciate it. Join the Discord if you want to have some fun, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm sure there will be more to come.